Hey YouTube, Blue Spruce 786 here. Just went for a walk behind the house with the dogs. This is a spot of land that was donated to the state years ago. It's a big tract back in here. And when I first found it, it was a fun day hike, kind of looking around. And I thought, wow, this would be a good overnight. So I got some maps, I looked around some more. But I tell you, after being up here a few times during the day, I don't think I'd stay overnight. A long time ago, I heard a legend that witches lived in hollow trees. So if you were ever cutting trees and you found you were in a stand of hollow ones, you needed to be careful. This place kind of reminds me of that. Walking in, I passed what looked like a spot where someone had raked in the sand on the road. It's a pretty good trail for a long ways, a couple miles. And it looked exactly like someone had taken a rake and raked out a section. 1 foot by 2 foot or whatever. How the heck did that happen? And then that got me thinking about this place. I walk for a little while longer and then something moves at my feet. I look down and there's this toad down there looking up at me. So you keep going. Things get quiet. You get to a point where you're definitely away from everything. You lose cell phone signal. Pretty quick up here, honestly. The sun comes down at sort of a funny angle, hits the leaves and the grass up ahead. And I see this sort of weird hunched over form. What the heck is that? It looked like somebody, it looked to me like somebody had, hunched over on their back on the ground, face down with their back sticking up. I get a little bit closer and it's a rock, all covered in this dead kind of lichen. Well, then I start thinking, well, what killed the lichen? Then what happens? If you get beyond the road, it ends. It's sort of a big grassy meadow. Not big, it's a grassy meadow, and you walk through that. And there used to be either logging trails, this was a farm 100 years ago or something, and I guess the owner donated it. Hundreds, maybe thousands of acres, I don't know, it's a big spot. But so there used to be roads all through it, trails, and I think people were riding their bikes up through here, dirt bikes or whatnot. And so the Forest Service dug up all the culverts. Oh, geez, looks like 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. They left the culverts right there. They're all rusting out next to the washouts, which, now the roads are all washed out and they're impassable in a lot of places. So you hike beyond that, there's no more road at that point. So I'm hiking, and it drops off to my left pretty steep, and you're kind of going up and up. And I get this breeze of warm air that hits my face, this current of warm air. What the heck is that? Where did that come from? Why did that warm air, why is that moving around? What happened next? You're far enough in where the birds don't seem frightened anymore. The further down, the chipmunks kind of screech at you and run off or whatever, and the birds fly away. Not up here. They just stare at you and perch on the limb and look at you as you walk by. But then the weirdest, creepiest thing. I was coming around a corner, and the road is washed out. You know, there was a road here. It's all washed out. And it's kind of, you switch back up along this trail trying to stay on the good ground. And for the life of me, I smelt perfume. Oh, glad I got the dogs with me. It's a nice place to be armed too. You know, you'll see a clearing off in the woods. I swear, if I ever turned around and sort of hiked towards one of those and saw a house or something, like an old frame of a house, I would beeline out of here so fast. But there's nothing up here. There's some bears, a lot of bears, um, but they're pretty harmless. But just something about it, man. I think if humanity just disappeared for zombie apocalypse or plague or whatever, um, and it wouldn't be long, 10, 15 years, and you wouldn't want to step foot up here in the woods high in Vermont. It's just some creepy old stuff. Anyway, this is Blue Spruce 786 signing off. Have a great day, YouTube.